what if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me.
Shane. Shane. A-L-A-N Allen. Allen. Oh, hey, what's going on? Episode 46 of the 38th Parallel, and I'm here with my good friend who I haven't seen in years, Alan Mosley. How are you doing, sir?
I feel like what if a bomb falls on your head?
Yeah.
What's it? His New York came out right there. Did you hear it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. And he was also doing the point. People were showing, like, Paulie from The Sopranos used to always do the point.
Oh, yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
And he was doing the point. Yeah. I liked it. Yeah. Say, you listen here, guy.
What if a bomb just drops in your head? Yeah, what if a bomb did drop in your head? I think everybody in that room would probably be dead, right? I'm guessing if we're taking this,
President
literally.
Trump threatens members of the press. It's coming. Get ready for it.
It already happened. It happened this first term, and it's going to happen, yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, of course, if you felt that way, then you'd be happy that he took your press credentials and you weren't allowed to be there anymore,
Can you believe that he kicked out the Associated Press out of the media? I can't believe it.
I seem to recall who was that absolute genius who said, like, weeks ago, I think on this very show, that if I were Trump, what he should do is just pull the press credentials of all the people he doesn't like, so that they just can't operate in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
I seem to recall that. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Oh, you guys enjoying the show over there? You should report their stream for, like, copyright infringement. They're streaming your stream in their stream now. If they get even one viewer, they owe you a subscription, I think.
You hear that? Give us 2 cents. There you go.
Wait.
Yeah, it just seems like we do a show, and then the next week, just so much crazy shit happens. I mean, literally, this happened today with the Donald Trump and Zelenskyy meeting. Oh, they're supposed to sign this deal with the minerals and all that or whatever. Okay, great. And then
I bet when you woke up this morning, you were like, "Ooh, we're going to talk about that Epstein thing." And then
I know, yeah.
It's like it's a whole new news cycle.
What?
Here we go.
Epstein Files. What's that?
Oh, they released them. It was a big nothing burger.
What?
Turns out no one actually went. There was no one there. It's crazy.
Oh man, so it was a big conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I guess they should let Ghislaine Maxwell out of prison then, huh?
I mean, might as well. Why not? Just let everybody out of prison. Yeah. Screw it.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that'll be 20 years from now when somebody does like a YouTube crime podcast miniseries on the Epstein Files that never happened. Someone's gonna quip that isn't it weird that like Epstein was in prison and then he killed himself, and then Ghislaine Maxwell was in prison and then she got convicted and sent to jail and whatever. And all of this was predicated on and there's this testimony from these girls who were like, "Oh my God, I was raped," blah 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 blah. But none of the rapists were ever found. No rapists.
Really?
There was a bunch of rape, but there were no rapists. I feel like we're missing a key component of the story.
I mean,
did I say rape enough times in the first 5 minutes of the episode to get?
You could probably say it a few more times if you want.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But I mean, we'll go back to that because that's not Epstein Files. Who cares? We'll go back. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But that meeting though, the Donald Trump
Mhm.
Zelensky meeting. Like I was saying, like, oh great, peace deal. Okay, well, start whatever. Oh yeah, okay, they're gonna do a thing, and then they're gonna have a press conference where people ask him questions and all that stuff. But then Zelensky, you see him and getting out of his car, and Donald Trump goes, "Oh, look at this guy, all dressed up, right? Look at this guy, he's all dressed up,
Mhm.
nicely." I think
Yeah.
that was like maybe the first sign that maybe things aren't going to go well, because he's like, look how nice look at this guy, the way he's dressed. Look at this guy. I mean, have you seen a guy more dressed beautifully than this guy? Look at him. And then they walk in.
That's pretty good, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I try.
Yeah.
And then he goes in, and then they're talking, and they're like raising their voices at him. Okay, so I was telling you this backstage, right before we recorded. So it seemed like it what like because I watched a little bit of the beginning. It wasn't anything like this. It was like, okay, cordial, nice, respectful, whatever. And then things started to get heated, right? And apparently Zelensky, under his breath, called JD Vance a bitch.
Yeah, I saw that, because I think, a lot of people are sharing the same, like, 45 seconds of that whole,
I mean, we can watch the whole thing if you want. It's like 40 minutes. You want to watch the whole thing? I got, you can watch the whole thing.
I'm sure you do. What I was trying to say was, it's 46 minutes, actually.
Well, okay.
Is
getting a
everyone's sharing the same clip near the end. But it was pretty bad for a long time before that. Like, they may not have been like full on pointing and yelling before that point, but Zelensky was acting like an ass kind of throughout. In all fairness, because you know me, I'm not like a big Trump Vance fan. They actually were the ones kind of maintaining their cool for like a good 20, 30-ish minutes before you can kind of tell. Like, Vance really, I felt like, was the one that kind of had decided he had had enough and he was going to speak up. And it's also a really interesting dynamic too, because he's the vice president, right? And we're all ingrained with this kind of attitude that the vice president really is just a placeholder position, right? Like, you're just the janitor. Yeah, you're just there. I mean, I know he breaks the ties in the Senate and all that bullshit, but I mean, most vice presidents have never really done much of anything. And so for him to be so present and upfront in all of these like major media events, and for him to speak up the way he did, like, could you imagine? Like, go back to Obama, Biden. Could you imagine Obama meeting with a world leader and something happening that gets a little testy, but instead of Obama having the opportunity to kind of show off his gravitas and his, whatever respect and honor of the office, could you imagine Joe Biden saying, "I'm sorry, sir, let me just step in right here," and talking over Obama? Could you?
Right.
I couldn't picture it. Like, that's just so foreign to me. But Vance was kind of doing that. And Trump doesn't rebuke that. If anything, Trump kind of welcomes it, and I don't know. It's a very interesting dynamic that we're seeing between those two.
So I just pulled up here a screenshot, or a tweet, excuse me, from Bad Hombre, and it's a picture where up on the top, Donald Trump, Nancy Pelosi, and there's good old our boy Mike Pence there, right in the middle, just sitting there, looking like he's about to fall asleep. And then below that, Zelensky and JD Vance. JD Vance has his hands out like he's making a C to Zelensky, and Donald Trump. I mean, I'm sure it's like mid blink, but looks like he's about to fall asleep too. And so he says JD Vance is an absolute pit bull. The way he stood up to that smug, poorly dressed POS, crossing his arms and talking back in the Oval Office, exactly why he was the best pick for the job. Weakling Mike Pence always sat back and let Trump handle confrontations. Huge upgrade. And yeah, like you were saying, JD Vance was really the first one to kind of go, like, legitimately ask him, kind of like questioning him, and I guess grilling him. I can't talk. Grilling him And then Donald Trump started to perk. Oh yeah, I guess I could do that too. I could do it better than you. Hold on, let me do this. And then that's when it all went sour. But I remember that conversation. At least I vaguely remember the conversation that Trump had with Pelosi there. And yeah, I don't even think Mike Pence even said a word.
Yeah.
Just sat there, you know.
There it's so I made the comment earlier today, as a matter of fact, that the Vance dynamic is weird in the sense that this is just not the type of energy we've seen from a vice president basically ever, certainly in our lifetimes. But at the same time, I feel like you could chalk it up to they're really grooming him to be the heir apparent. Like Trump knows that this is his second term. So he knows that Trump is no longer running for office in a literal sense as well as a metaphorical sense. Yeah. But JD Vance, unless something crazy happens in the next 2 to 3 years, JD Vance is going to be the heir apparent. I mean, there would have to be a massive falling out between him and Trump for Vance to not get the blessing, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be the Wild West in the GOP once again. I
mean, who knows?
Yeah, yeah. With Trump gone, who knows what's going to happen next? But at the same time, I not to be the person who pours cold water on something right after saying it, but I also remember a former senator who was like political awakening on the main stage had happened 5 seconds ago, and he makes one speech at a Democratic National Convention, and 4 years later he's the God Emperor of the United States of America. I remember that guy.
Yeah.
There's so much parallel between the way Obama went from nobody to rising star to emperor, like that. I mean, as quickly as the political gears can turn. And now you have Vance, who then went from like he wrote a book about his family in Bumblefuck, to I'm a senator, to I'm the vice president under not just any old VP, but under Trump 2.0.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be the standard. And he's being given the opportunity, right? Like they're giving him the rope to say, okay, well, what will you do with it? What can we expect out of you if you were in this position? And Trump's just kind of letting him do it. And that's so I'm not trying to say that he would necessarily be awful. I'm not trying to say that, that just means he's just like Obama. All I'm saying is that it just seems too perfect. I'm a cynic. And we all should be cynical about the fucking U.S. government, right? This is the largest government in the history of the world. They're mass murderers, thieves, and pedophiles. So when a random person comes out of nowhere and in the blink of an eye, they're this close to like the levers of power, and it all just like the stars align so perfectly, you got to at least wonder, man, how did we get here? How did this guy get here this fast? Are they truly that impressive, or is there more going on here? I mean, a lot of people thought Obama was really impressive, and he was in a very evil sense. I don't know what kind of impressive JD Vance is yet. Yeah,
I was looking up how old Donald Trump is right now. He's 78, and JD Vance is just about half his age. He's 40. Yeah. So he's got plenty.
Vance is a year older than me.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time. And this could have been like this. I don't know if this was scripted, to say the least, or just kind of, hey, let's see how JD Vance handles this whole thing. Like, how's he going to handle this situation if a foreign leader comes in and starts talking down to us? How's JD Vance going to react to that? And this could have been his first big test. Hey, JD Vance, let's see. Let's go. Let's see what happens. And I don't know if he passed on it, but I'm sure to some in the administration, it's like, man, JD Vance did a pretty good job. He really stood up for us, and he showed Zelenskyy, who's boss. He's like, hey, you should be thanking us. We gave you all this money and all this equipment and everything, and you're coming here to freaking like trying to slap us in the face? No. How about you go fuck yourself? And then they kick him out, and then they have lunch They invite some other people in the administration to go have lunch where it's originally supposed to be the Zelenskyy people and the Trump people that are there to work on that, but no. So there you go. Yeah, like you were saying, JD Vance, man, this was the first big test, and I'm sure for some of those people, they're like, oh, yeah, I think he did pretty well.
Well, like we could spend all night just talking about my conspiracy theory that Vance is being propped up like he's the next Manchurian candidate. He's the guy that's going to be the puppet master of the empire going forward. Here's another perfect example is after the whole Trump, Hillary Trump Biden, Trump Biden / Kamala, the big story there is your candidate's too old. Nuh-uh, your candidate's too old. The next election cycle, if you're an 80-year-old wanting to throw your hat in the ring, you will be decimated. I think America is done with the octogenarians or near that. I think that the next major election cycle is going to have a lot of look. You have younger people in the House and Senate. Well, more House than Senate, and a lot more of the old ones need to die. But you're having more younger people win. And like Mitch McConnell's going to be gone soon, for instance. I think the next presidential election is going to be won by a much younger candidate. Now, of course, when the previous candidates were all pushing 80, or in Biden's case was 80, someone who's only 68 is a younger candidate. I mean, but I don't mean that. I mean someone who's going to be in their 50s or down. Of course, obviously, in Vance's case, he's in his 40s, but that's still deceptive. He's 40 on the nose. Of course, he'll be closer to 44 in 4 years from now. But the point being is that I think that America's not going to go for that. America's not going to go for another 70, 80-year-old. They're going to want a younger candidate that shows more fire and gravitas is going to be the winner. And so there you go, JD Vance. So the Republicans already have their young guy. Like you think of like Kamala, for instance. Everyone knows Kamala was total trash. But that was basically the only way that the Democrats could try to elect her, was to say that, well, she was the VP under Biden. And oops, sorry, we lied. Biden actually was an empty husk. So actually, it was the super powerful Vice President Harris that was running the country, you guys. That shows that she has leadership potential. No one bought that. But if we get another 3 years and 10 months of Trump not deferring to Vance, because he is the president after all, and God knows Trump always thinks Trump is number one, but allowing Vance the opportunity to distinguish himself publicly in such a way as he did today, that's going to be the selling point. Is Trump is out, but here's my heir apparent. Look what a great job he did. I personally guided him, you guys. I molded him into the man he is today, and look how strong he is on the world stage. Remember last week, it was just a week ago, you were talking about how crazy the news cycle is. It was just a week ago that Vance went to Europe, to Germany, and he talked shit. Right. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
That was just a week ago, Shane.
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't it feel like it was last year?
That's what I'm saying. This whole thing with Trump 2.0, it just seems like one after the other, one day after the next. It's like, oh my God, it's so much shit. When before with Biden and Harris, you're just like, oh my God, fucking geez, 3 months later, what the fuck? Is anything gonna happen? The craziest thing we had was some guy burning himself to death in protest for nothing. So
yeah.
God, man. Yeah, it's crazy. And with JD Vance too, like he could be that guy, like you're saying. He could be just kind of that guy that was just in or whatever. Because when his name was being thrown around, you're kind of thinking, well, that's kind of a out of the blue kind of a name. And then you see him, and he goes on all these podcasts, Joe Rogan being one, Theo Vaughn, Tim Dillon talking to him, and going on. It's like, okay, yeah, kind of getting his name out there. But then also talking about who's going to be the heir apparent. I mean, yeah, the vice president would kind of be that guy, right? I mean, did people think back then when it was Trump Pence, did people think, hey, maybe Pence could be the guy after Trump?
No, because that's the thing though, right? Is that when it was Trump Pence, that was a political move. He brought in Pence because in his mind it was, well, we need some help with the Midwestern, hardcore, like conservative Christian types who are looking at Trump thinking, oh, he's a playboy. He says bad words. And so that's why he brought in Pence. But of course, Pence is no spring chicken himself. He's an old man on top of just being a piece of shit. So no, he was never going to be the heir apparent. So that was definitely, but of course that was Trump 1.0, where in his mind he was thinking, A, there's no way I'm going to win this, but B, I'm just getting started. I'm going to have another 8 years. I'm going to have another election after this. If anything, I've been thinking a lot here lately about how people have talked about how the Trump administration that we're seeing right now is a big product, is a big byproduct of it. Is because he lost. If he had won in 2020, then it would have been a even more watered down version of his first administration.
He's jaded now, at least more so.
And he probably goes out like a lamb,
right?
And everyone shits on him, and the Democrats win for 20 years. But since he lost and came back with 4 years of kind of the circling of the wagons, it's and there's been a ton of problems. Like, look, it has not all been W's for this administration, as literally 24 hours ago could attest. But it has been a lot better than I think a lot of people would have thought it would have been. And as you keep pointing out, it's like, dude, it's only been like 2 months. Are you kidding?
I know, it's crazy.
We got a lot left to do. We haven't even gotten through the first 100 days yet. We haven't even gotten through the first 100 days, which is kind of like the benchmark of the start of a presidency.
I'll take a whole day to talk about it.
Yeah. Oh my God. If anything, this is what's so tough about like this show's a weekly show, right? And we do it. We end the work week with this show, and my show is Wednesday nights, and it's like on the weekend some crazy shit will happen, and I'll be like, okay, well let me start to I'm starting to brainstorm some stuff for Wednesday, and then I wake up Monday morning, look at this new shit, and I'm like, oh well, let me email my guest really quick and be like, hey, can we pivot to this? And then I wake up Tuesday morning, oh my God, look at this new shit. I don't even know where to start, man. I don't even know where to begin. I think the easiest thing to do is just forget everything that happened yesterday and just move on to today.
I was gonna. I don't know. I'm debating whether I should show you this because I know you love this guy so much. So you're talking about like JD Vance being as of right now, and I've seen some polls and betting odds where like, JD Vance he's going to be the guy for the Republican Party in 2028 running. As of right now, that's who you would think it would be. But the Democrats, they have some names out there, right? I know Gavin Newsom. He's a name that's been floating around. If you want that white man,
no chance. But
But guess what? With Gavin Newsom, he's starting a podcast. Did you know that? This is Gavin Newsom.
I've seen it.
Yeah. We should review that. I think that'd be good homework for you. Watch it and then come back and review it for me.
Jesus Christ. So we're going to start a new podcast where our podcast is reviewing the Gavin Newsom podcast.
That's it. Just the Gavin Newsom podcast. Look at the shit this guy said today.
What did he name it? What's the name of his
This is Gavin Newsom. I'm pretty sure
this is Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
So then what will our parody show be called?
This is not Gavin Newsom.
No, okay. His show is This is Gavin Newsom, and ours is a review of him. So ours will be That Was Gavin Newsom.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah.
All right. I'm down. Fuck it.
Hey,
I'm down.
This is a good name, too. Contra Newsom. It's a good one.
Oh, man. That was Gavin Newsom. I'm telling you.
Look at that. Brainstorming on the fly. Look at that. We could do this, I think.
Yeah. Maybe. Even with me cutting the circulation off to my brain.
I got it. But okay, so Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris is still on the top of the list for some people because
no chance.
If she lost last time, why can't she? Donald Trump lost last time. Why can't she win this time? Shit, why not? But there is a name out there who's been floated around, And here, I'll let you talk. I'll let him talk.
The fact that I am a candidate for the presidency of the United States of America, according to the polling for the Democratic Party, is the most clear-cut evidence of how pathetic of a state of affairs that exists within the Democratic Party today. I have no business being on that list whatsoever. I am not qualified, but it just shows how pathetic things are at this particular moment in time.
Talking with Hannity there, his best friend. So yeah,
Well,
Stephen Smith.
First of all, what's he doing on Hannity? That's
they do this like, yeah, we can get along even though we disagree on some things. Fucking Sean Hannity and Stephen A. Smith, I'm sure can agree on like 80% of the stuff they're talking about. What's the 20% they don't agree on? What is it?
Wait, hold. So Stephen A. Smith can talk to Sean Hannity, but he can't talk to what's his name?
Skip Bayless.
Yeah, Skip Bayless. Jesus.
Well, it's about sports because he's really passionate about his opinions on sports. But politics, I have no business being on that platform. Why would I even be a part of the Democratic Party?
It is true. He has no business being a part of it. That is true.
But that's the thing though. The fact that people are like, oh, Stephen A. Smith. Yeah. Because before, remember when there was being floated around that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, hey, maybe we should get that guy.
Oprah,
right? Mark Cuban. That's another one. Hey, Mark Cuban from the Shark Tank, and he owns Dallas Mavericks. I'm sure he's. Hey, if Donald Trump can be president, he was a businessman. Why can't Mark Cuban be one? Why not? Fuck it. Just throw politician. I don't want politicians. Give me the businessmen and women. Give them over. Come here. Give me the names of those people. So yeah.
Well, it's like this is name that hypocrisy. It'll be a new game show. So Democrats have spent all this time demonizing the millionaires and billionaires and going after Elon Musk, this unelected billionaire who's running the country now. So that means they can't possibly support Mark Cuban, right? Like, because because who would be the candidates? You could have super rich guy. They're not really a politician. It's just super rich guy is a potential candidate. So just pick one who happens to be Bill Gates for all I fucking care.
Sure. Right.
There is super old, long-time party member, but of course, as I said earlier, America's not going to go for someone super old. So like Chuck Schumer can run for president, but he has no chance to win because some super old person who's been in politics forever. I think America's over that. But I'm just saying, like, these are like the stereotypes, right? These are the typecasts of the different candidates. And the Democrats, it's wide open. It's like, who even fucking knows at this point where they're going to go? So they could go with super rich liberal douche. It can be super old, long-time party member. You could have the opposite. You could have super radical left-wing progressive who's younger, like an AOC, for instance. Someone who's like, which I know that the true radicals actually wouldn't say she is a radical. They would say that she's totally sold out. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have your genuine communist like a Bernie Sanders. But see, Bernie Sanders, his time is over because he's now Chuck Schumer. He's sold out on everything. And B, he's super old.
I'll do that. Yeah.
And then you just have another member of the cabal. So like the Obamas have basically run the country for 12 years. They're 8 plus Biden's 4, and so Michelle.
Yeah. Big Mike.
I think that's about it. I mean, who else like? Whether you had a specific name or whether you just had a description, who else could you see them going with other than super rich liberal, super old party member, hardcore radical left-winger, or an Obama? I mean, who else is there? The Clintons are too old. Hillary's done. She's too old.
The first name that popped in my head was Hakeem Jeffries, who is the House Minority Leader of the House Democratic Caucus since 2023. Yeah, he was the first thing that popped in my head. I mean, who else? Because he's the younger black man. 54 years old. Not too shabby. He's got some experience on him. He's young, but he's not too young. He's not too old either. There you go. He's not too black either. He's got that light skin like Barack Obama.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Boom.
Of course, obviously, there's a governor.
Yeah.
So, that's where you get your Gavin Newsom. See, I could see them going for a blue state governor, but it can't be Gavin Newsom. That would have been the obvious choice in years past.
Yeah.
But he's dead on arrival now.
Who was the governor of Kentucky that we talked? Who's that guy?
Andy Bashir. Andy Bashir has way less chance to be president than Thomas
Red
Massie,
state governor,
for
though.
instance.
Hey, red state governor. Right?
Yeah, but he's a red state governor. I said a blue state governor.
But he's a Democrat in a red state, so
But that's my point. You can't win if you lose your own state. Ask Al Gore.
Sure, yeah.
You can't win if you lose your own state. It's such a huge black eye for you to lose your state. So his state would be Kentucky, and he'd lose Kentucky, and that'd be a disaster for his campaign. So they wouldn't do that. I can't think off the top of my head of a blue state governor that I feel like
fuck in Illinois, JB Pritzker.
Did you see my monologue this week? Yeah.
Oh no, I missed this. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. Terrible look on me. I haven't even seen my friend's show, man. Terrible.
Wait, hold on.
Some friend I am.
It's because I said, do we have a picture of JB Pritzker?
Look at that guy. Him and Chris Christie. Perfect. There you go. The two fat fucks from each party. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, so that won't fly either. Which that won't fly in general anyway. You can't. It's not that we've elected a bunch of Barbies and Kens, but there's a certain demographic that can be a president in this country, and there's a certain demographic that can't. And if you're gross, if you're morbidly obese, like that guy is, you will not be elected president of the United States. You just won't be. We don't live in that world anymore. I mean, for a long time, remember, it was like, you had to be clean shaven and all that. Like JD Vance has a beard.
Oh yeah, he's got a
Like he would be the first one.
Chester A. Arthur.
Yeah. So
I'm probably wrong on that, but
if you had just said it confidently, then no one.
I know. I lost confidence immediately after I said Chester A. Arthur. In fact, I said Chester A. Arthur should have given me the confidence. Anyway.
At least it wasn't Chester B. Arthur. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Where's that at? You have that somewhere over there?
What?
That sound effect?
I don't think I do. I probably have it on Discord. I don't know if that'll even play. No, I don't actually have that like on this thing. I just, I would just have like.
Has some of the Arsenio Hall. Who, you know that? When the crowd would go wild.
Now the only new button I had this week was we did the whole bit of give me a list of 5 things you did last week.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Dave only could come up with 4, so we had to let him go.
That's not good.
But I told him that I actually found a job that would be perfect for him. And it would be, you can't even see it because it's cut off. That sucks. Oh well, it's fine. Is there a way for you to expand that so people can see that? You guys, Shane's not paying any attention to what's going on. There it is. Yeah, he's the head glazer. I think Dave would make a perfect head glazer.
Dang, 21 to 22.50 an hour.
Yeah, he made pretty good money glazing heads. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not bad.
It's more than $15 a man. So
I know. So you mentioned the 5 things. Like, what did you do? What did you do this week? It reminded me of this video. I don't know if you've seen this or not.
The email that came out wanting us to justify our jobs with 5 things we did last week was on Saturday night. Yeah. And I was literally working on Saturday night to make up for all the distractions I had had the previous week, which came from the executive branch. And so I'm working, trying to catch up on things, and then I get that email on top of it. It's very hard to keep your train of thought when you're getting threatened and harassed like that.
Threatened and harassed.
People who are shocked and appalled that for the first time in their lives expecting even an ounce of accountability. That's all this is.
Yeah. The simple
They've never
email.
had any expectations until this moment. Jesus.
The simple email of, hey, what are the 5 things you did? If you can't name 5, that's fine. Just what did you do this week? I feel harassed and threatened.
Well, that's wow. So I mean, that's why we started the show this week with the Milton Friedman clip where he was talking about, and of course, keep in mind when he was talking, this was like in the late 70s,
right?
And he was saying that in that previous year, out of 1 million federal employees who were eligible for a raise based on a merit raise. Mm-hmm. Did you know that only 600 of them didn't receive it? Now think about that for a second. Of 1 million federal employees who were due a raise based on based on merit, 999,400 of them were deemed to be such good employees that they got a raise, and only 600 were deemed not. Now, far be it from me to say that there weren't at least some employees who probably are hard workers and deserve a raise, but do you actually think that it was all 1 million minus 600? Because if you do think that, you've had a better experience with federal employees than I have.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, America's still standing, so yeah, I think they deserve it. Why not? Give them all that money.
That's the other thing too, is that the amount of money they make. Of course, that whole diatribe he went into, he was talking about how, that the wealthiest county in the United States, it probably still is, it was at the time, was what they call a bedroom county right outside of D.C. in Northern Virginia. So basically, the place where a lot of federal employees live when they're not at work, that is the wealthiest county in per capita income in the United States. And it's because the average federal employee gets paid so handsomely, like just the average pencil pusher, just the typical low-level bureaucrat who does nothing but attends a couple of Zoom meetings, types up a few emails, checks a few boxes and goes to lunch, and that's as busy as their day gets. Those people are making $100,000 a fucking year. Whereas, like, the same type of low-level drone working in a cubicle at, public company pro over here in fucking Nashville, they're making $40,000. But the federal employee who does the same job, they're making $100,000.
Man, sign me up for that job.
Yeah, can't be fired. Full benefits, retirement, pension. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Just go to work for Uncle Sam.
Mike
Johnson's going
to cut benefits for those who voted for him. Keep the ones for those who fucking hate him. Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. There you go. Nice.
Yeah. Could you imagine if Mike Johnson ran for president against J.D. Vance?
He would just get
murdered. Just steamrolled. Actually, you know what? Since I said that, write down somewhere that I said this, 3.5 years in advance. I bet that there will be Republicans who will actually be put up to run against Vance, not to beat him, but to make Vance look good. There will be patsies. There will be stooges put up whose job it is for Vance to crush like cans to inflate his record, so to speak, like a boxer.
All right, Mike Johnson will run against J.D. Vance.
Not Mike Johnson, just some stooges. He would be a hell of a stooge to run against him, but
I mean, obviously the Republican Party, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
As of right now, I'm not sure who could run against if like I said, if everything continues going the way it's going right now, I can't see who would run against Vance and not just be crushed. Like, even if they themselves ran a decent campaign, they're just going to be crushed.
Yeah.
Because Vance is going to have all the party backing, and vice versa. You know, the field's wide open on the other side, and I don't know who's going to separate themselves other than Michelle Obama. You know, Brian McClanahan believes that very strongly. He thinks that not only is Michelle Obama 100% definitely going to be the Democratic nominee in 28, but that she's going to win. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what the Republicans do in these next 4 years, and it doesn't matter who the nominee is. It's totally irrelevant. It doesn't even matter if Trump's the greatest president who ever lived. They're going to lose the White House in 28 to Michelle Obama. He said that word for word countless times. He believes that strongly.
Man, if you thought Hollywood was all in on Hillary Clinton and Biden and Harris, whew, man, they'd be.
Oh yeah,
they would do that and then some with Michelle. Oh shit, Obama again in the White. Hell yeah, and fucking Barack Obama was the first gentleman or whatever the fuck. Hell yeah, get me them. Give me them people in there.
Yeah.
I mean, God, yeah, they would have so much money backing them. Jeez, that would be crazy. JD Vance would, man, he'd be in a fucking. That's crazy. Like right now, like that's what he's thinking. He's thinking that that's gonna happen. Doesn't matter. Oh wait, the IRS and income tax are completely gone, and all these other things are gone, and all these other great things happen. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's vote for Michelle Obama.
Hey, you should be highlighting all this great commentary we're getting from our fans here, such as JC and Tyler.
Hey, thanks, Tyler.
I asked Tyler to come back on It's Too Late here in a couple of weeks to do nothing but just talk about Liz Wheeler for 30 minutes.
Liz Wheeler.
man, Tyler's been going off the last couple of days.
I'm
about
sure
all this dumb shit going on, the whole Epstein phase 1. I mean, if it's called phase 1, then I presume there will be a phase 2, or maybe that was it. That was just.
This is the MCU. Oh, we gotta wait for we gotta wait for 6 months for the next movie to come out.
I don't see how they recover from this. I mean, everyone should be blocking. Everyone should be blocking all of those influencers anyway. But I just don't know how they come back from this on the whole Epstein thing. Like, who even cares at this point?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the big things. Is, oh yeah, we're gonna finally get all the Epstein files and all the redactions and all that. But then you see some of the stuff that they come out with, and you're like, but it's already out there. Like, I see some of the stuff that's been redacted. Like, it's already out. I mean,
yes.
Is it on Is it on a government website? Maybe that's it. Hey, it's on a government website, so obviously it's been released 100% now.
Oh my God, this is breaking news. I just sent it to you. I just sent it to you on Twitter. Here's breaking news right here. They just released the first set of the Epstein list.
Oh shit! Wait, hold on a second. I gotta get this up. Hold on.
There it is.
Bear with me, folks. Bear with me, folks. All right, let's see. What is this? Okay. Oh man, this is woof. Jeez.
There they are.
I can't believe.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got them.
Fuck.
Yeah, boy, I know some of those names.
Come on, man. That guy. That guy's cool. In this list. God damn it. That guy, though, he can go fuck himself. I'm glad he's on that list. Fuck him. Yeah.
Maybe they were right about that punt god guy, Matt Areza.
I can't believe this. Travis Kelce. Well, now it makes sense. He and fucking Taylor Swift are dating. Of course, he's on the Epstein list. Of course.
Yep.
God damn. Jeez. Patrick Mahomes. Man. This changes everything. I don't even know. I think we should end the show now. I think this is it, right?
Yeah. We're here to name names. We did it.
God. Can you believe that? I don't see Andy Reid though, so that's good. I think Andy Reid's good, right? He's in the clear.
No, yeah, Andy genuinely didn't know anything about it.
Yeah. He's too busy eating cheeseburgers. Cheeseburgers actually saved me. Yes.
Yeah, Andy Reid. So Andy Reid should run for president. There's
Could
your
you
guy.
imagine? Hey, if he did a good football team, I'm sure he can help coach a country of 350 million plus people and counting. Unless we deport.
I don't think we'd have a sports star. It's certainly possible. It's certainly possible that we wind up with a celebrity, but not an athlete, not a sports star. I mean, I know that Gerald Ford technically was one. We've had one before, but I don't think we go that way. But I have been trying to think about who fits all those different archetypes. Like, who is the left wing Elon Musk?
They're trying to make Hassan Piker the new Joe Rogan on the left. We got to get this Hassan Piker guy to become the new. It's like it's over. You're not gonna have a new.
Yeah. What a joke, Jesus.
It's over.
Even the Rogan thing, like Rogan's whole part in that, like, came into the news cycle and was gone, like, I guess 2 or 3 weeks ago now, where like he came. Did you see the whole thing where he came forward and he was talking about, like, he was given the behind the scenes scoop of Trump coming on the Joe Rogan Experience and Kamala not, and where he had said, look, we invited her, you know, I bent over backwards to try to accommodate her team, but at the end of the day, they would not just come do the show. They wanted complete control. They wanted me to come to her. They wanted to limit it to only like 30 minutes. They wanted it to basically be totally scripted and all this stuff. Whereas Trump did the opposite. Trump showed up to Austin, did like the full fucking show, right?
Yeah.
Like every celebrity and comedian.
Didn't he once?
And so the funny thing, and he's an old guy.
I know.
That's tough. Well, trust me, he peed a few times. You just didn't see it. But the point being is that you have left wingers today who are saying, well, that wasn't fair. You know, Joe Rogan is basically a Republican now because he promoted Trump and he didn't promote Kamala. He's like, okay, so first of all, Joe Rogan's voted Democrat like his whole life. He himself has said that, number one. Number two, I tried to promote Kamala. They would not work with us. And number three, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Either Joe Rogan is a filthy racist who doesn't matter, or Joe Rogan can literally sway the election. Only one of those can be true. And if it's the second one, then maybe your candidate should show up to the interview.
And it just shows too. Just that example, Donald Trump was willing to do all the things, go there, do the whole 3-hour show, blah, blah, bam, boom. Yeah, ask me whatever you want. I don't care. Kamala Harris, no. We got to do 30 minutes. You got to come to me. I'm the princess. I'm the queen because I didn't know what you're going to ask me beforehand. It's like, bitch, have you even seen the show? He just fucking goes off whatever the fuck comes to his head. Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about this? Hey, you know that thing? Hey, Jamie, pull that thing up. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, what? How's he going to? If he went to Kamala, how's that going to go? Hey, Jamie, can you pull it up? Yeah, it might take a minute because I'm not used to these settings, whatever. Hold on a second. Maybe I'll show you on my phone.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, that's, and that whole thing. And I'm not even saying if she did that whole thing where Donald Trump did go there and did the thing, and then she did the thing too. I don't know if it would have helped her or not. Because who knows? I mean, he even, like Joe Rogan said, well, I wouldn't have grilled her. I just want to get to know her. Who is Kamala Harris? Because we get this like facade of who Kamala Harris is. Oh, she's such a great human being. You look at her, she's trying to look for some Doritos. Man, she's just like me. Mm-hmm. But then if Joe Rogan actually asked her questions, not even anything crazy, like, hey, what do you think what do you think about this? And I know, like, so tell me about your childhood. How's your upbringing? What was that like? Just something like that. She didn't want to do that. 30 minutes? That's not even enough time. Joe Rogan could talk for fucking hours. 30 minutes? That's not enough.
This is again, these are just more questions to think about for a few years from now. Like, with the way all of that shit played out, particularly at the very end, like those pivotal last few weeks before the election, So we'll just say October. With the way October played out this past year, what do you think that they'll do differently next time? Do you think next time the Democrats will A, actually have a nomination, B, nominate someone much younger with more energy, and C, actually invest in that candidate going onto these platforms, doing these interviews and in this alternative media and Rogan and different things? Or are they going to do what they've been doing so far, which is just continue to double down on their bullshit? Are they going to double down on more trans, more woke, and calling everyone that they don't like racist and a Nazi? You would think, surely, at the end of the day, these people just want power. So surely they will suck it up and go on fucking Rogan, you know. But who knows? Maybe they continue to double down. God knows they're calling people Putin puppets today. Like, that's still happening. It's still happening.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's probably not going to happen, but imagine Chuck Schumer miraculously gets the Democratic nomination. That old fuck is going to go on Joe Rogan and talk to him for 3+ hours. Are you serious? Come on. Gavin Newsom is better off doing that. And I don't even know how that would go. Like, if Gavin Newsom goes, ask me anything. Okay, so first off, what about those California fires? What did you do to try and stop them? That would be like the first question out of the game. I don't know if Joe would do that. He'd probably ease into it. You know, he'd ease into the whole fire thing. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like he would know that that's probably going to come up at some point. Like, you got to be prepared for it. What's Chuck Schumer going to do? He's fucking old. How old is he going to be if that happened? What, fucking like 98 years old? Like, come on. And let me show you this real quick. Hold that thought. Look at this guy, Theo Vaughn, big time podcaster. Look what he said. He's quoting End Wokeness. End Wokeness said JD Vance and Trump just put Zelenskyy in his place. Wow, watch this. Theo Vaughn said, "Tell that guy to give us our tax dollars back in GTFO here. Disrespectful guy using our money, using his own people." Look at that. Theo Vaughn. Are they going to go on Theo's show? He just said that about fucking Zelenskyy. Is Chuck Schumer going to go on that show? Gavin Newsom, Michelle fucking Obama. Are they going to go on his show? Probably not. If they look back and go, oh man, this guy, he sounds worse than Joe Rogan. I don't know if I want to go on that show. He's got a huge platform. Why not?
See, I could see Michelle Obama doing it, because Michelle Obama is just going to be Barack 2.0. And I could see her doing it because that was Barack's game. See, Barack was in his time, he was the young, suave, but not career politician. Who comes just swinging in out of left field. So I don't know, man. It's super hard to say this early on.
Yeah, it's like, but fucking, it's way too early. It's like a mock draft.
Well, but
the season just think of all mock draft right now.
You think of all the shit that's happened just in the last 30 to 60 days. Now imagine another 3.8 years of that. We don't know what the conversation is going to look like.
Oh my god.
What I was going to say a second ago was like, you can't even think in terms of Ukraine, because this Ukraine shit's going to be fucking over a few years from now. Hopefully it's over
I hope so.
Days or weeks from now.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's going to be now. Not only will the Ukraine shit be over, but if you're a Democrat and you're running for president in 2.5 years from now, you're announcing your candidacy. If you go up there on the debate stage and the first thing that comes out of your mouth is Russia, 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 just fucking concede. You've already lost. Jesus Christ.
What's that thing
so over that?
What's the thing that people bring back up where it was Obama Romney, and Obama tells Romney that, hey, the 1980s want their foreign policy back because they're talking about Russia.
Yeah.
It's just like, we're back there again. We're back to the 1980s foreign policy because the Cold War hasn't ended yet. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's just what do I have to say to get you to do what I want?
Oh, we're not even anywhere near the end. I don't even know why you're playing that song.
Well, I mean, I just looked at the clock and
I know. But I have something. I told you that I had something that I wanted to play for you. I was going to introduce you to somebody. Yeah, okay. I know. I mean, it's not going to take fucking 2 hours, whatever. It's not going to take But anyway.
I'm waiting. Okay. What are you doing?
Well, look, okay, so I wanted to introduce it. I wanted to I wanted to get into it. So you host a show, right? Called It's Too Late with Alan Mosley, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. And it's like a Tonight Show, like the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson type of style of show, right? It's a late night talk show where you do a monologue and tell some jokes, and then you go interview somebody, right? And then you end the show. That's it. But I want to focus on the monologue part, right? How long does it take for you to write jokes for the monologue?
I for a monologue that's like 10 minutes long, I may take a couple hours to put it all together. But that's deceptive because it'll be like I'll brainstorm for a few days, but then within a couple of hours, I put it all onto paper.
All together, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say all of them are, like, to you, would you say they're legitimate jokes? Like, because you're trying to put like some kind of funny spin to it, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So that it'll either be some kind of a visual aid, or it'll be like this happened. Well, isn't that And then here's my random opinion. Cue laugh track. Yeah. Yeah, it's formulaic. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so this is why I was kind of introducing that whole thing to you and kind of asking about your whole setup. Because there's a guy who does a show, like Bill Maher. He does a show called Real Time with Bill Maher. He does a monologue type of thing, right? He'll say jokes, whether you agree or disagree. He'll say jokes, blah, 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 blah. And for the most part, not too shabby. Not too shabby of him doing that. That he knows how to do that thing. Here's a guy that I want to introduce you to. His name is Tom Myers. Now, have you ever heard of him?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I'm glad. Because I've known this guy for a while because I watch a show called Who Are These Podcasts? And they mock this guy a lot. It's actually my favorite thing that they do is that when they mock this guy. Because every time I hear him mocking this guy or he's doing his thing, I think of you because I'm like, Alan actually can do it. And you don't consider yourself a stand-up. You don't go out there and do stand-up comedy. This guy does stand-up comedy.
So this is what this guy does.
This is what this guy does. And the show, apparently. So I'm glad that I'm easing you into it. Okay. So this is the show. All right. Tom Myers versus the rest of the world. This came out February 27th. We are recording Friday, February 28th. Okay. So this is the first 3 minutes are what I'm gonna what I want you to focus on, because we're not gonna do that. I just want to focus on the monologue part. So what we're gonna do, no editing. I'm not cutting anything out. I'm not scrolling. This is literally the first 3 minutes of his show. We're going to listen to each joke. I'm gonna stop it and then I go, Alan, what did you think of that joke?
All right. Okay. Do I need to like rate them or something? You
can rate them, critique them, however, because you've done this for a long time. As someone who doesn't do stand-up comedy, this guy does. So I guess that can skew your rating. So anyway, get excited, people. This is to me, this is just the icing on the cake. I can't wait to see how Alan's going to react to this.
All right. Late night talk show host reacts to.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Get that good song in.
Interesting music choice, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, and welcome to Tom Myers versus the rest of the world. A lot's been happening this week. Donald Trump is looking to take over the United States Postal Service. One thing he wants to do now is come out with stamps with his likeness on them. I find that shocking. People still buy stamps?
Is that supposed to be like is that satire or is that the joke?
That's the joke. Like, can you believe people still buy stamps?
That the joke and the way he delivered it was like Jerry Seinfeld's "What's the Deal with Airline Food?" but not Jerry Seinfeld. It's a spoof of Jerry Seinfeld. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the way he delivered it was as if he was making fun of someone who would tell that joke. Except for you're telling me that was legitimately him telling the joke.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I need to at least hear two to compare against each other. I'm not sold yet that you're telling me the truth. I think actually this is just a big spoof.
Okay. This is the next joke again. No editing, no cutting.
Okay.
This will inadvertently cause people to discover that Trump stamps will be the first to become adhesive once they come into contact with ejaculate.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that he basically tagged that joke. So he tagged that. People still, can you believe people still buy stamps? And then he said that. What a great tag. Moving on.
I plan to counter this by stocking up on those forever stamps, which can be used as long as I have them, no matter if the price of postage goes up. I mean, it's in the name. They can literally be used forever, which at the rate we're going will be about 6 months.
Another tag with
what? Who are these people Yeah, Tyler, who are these people laughing?
Okay, so he has guests on his show, and they're basically listening to his monologue because it's all done with Zoom. This is all done with Zoom. They're not in person. It's all done in Zoom. That's why it sounds very, laggy.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no video then.
Yeah,
it's just audio. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I know. I'm sorry. It feels like we've gone like 5 minutes. It feels like I've gone like 2 hours just listening to this. All right, let's move on to the next one.
A new poll says that 14% of Americans approved of Trump pardoning the January 6th prisoners. What the poll didn't take into account was that all of that 14% were the January 6th prisoners and their families.
So there was a poll of the January 6th prisoners, right? Like they were talking about, oh, we support. And 14%, but those 14% were the actual January 6th people and their families. What do you think of that joke?
This has to all be a setup. All of this is a setup to I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. I don't believe you that this is it. I'm still waiting for it.
All right.
Since he took over his chair of the board of directors for the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, Trump has canceled an appearance there by the men's gay chorus, saying that the only homosexual activity that should take place in D.C. is people asking him for a job in his administration.
That just doesn't work, because not only is it a bad joke, but if you were gonna try to make that joke, it would have to be about a Democratic administration, not the Republican.
Yeah, but this is Tom Mars we're talking about. He makes fun of Republicans. Did you know that he tackles subjects that other comedians won't even touch? Did you know that?
All right, let's keep going.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said about Trump's firing of the Joint Chiefs, "We want lawyers who don't exist to attempt to be roadblocks to anything that happens." Anything that happens? Is it too much to wish that this anything that happens is him trying to get rid of a hooker after she's puking up outside a hotel in West Palm Beach after drinking too many Zimas? I'm only joking, of course. There's no evidence that Pete Hegseth has ever paid a hooker. He kills them immediately.
Oh.
For legal reasons, I have to say that's not true, to the best of my knowledge.
Man, how many tags are you going to put on there? God damn.
Look, I think I'm very fortunate to have met some of the coolest people in the world that I consider to be great friends. But I can't think of any of my friends who would come on my show and me tell those jokes and them be my live laugh track. I think they would all tell me, Alan,
it's not working.
Yeah. They'd be, giving me the time. Yeah.
I have a heart out.
Jesus.
Yeah. And there was one.
How long has this guy been doing this?
Oh, it's been. I mean, it says episode 121, but it's been a while. A while.
I feel so much like, thank you for this. I feel so good about myself now.
Yeah.
I am genuinely the best late night talk show host in America. I never realized how good I was until this.
Yeah,
and I'm not a professional comedian.
Yeah, this guy is professional comedian, but but you know how this whole thing really is styled in that real time with Bill Maher type of thing, because then after he does the monologue, they'll talk about something and then, oh, what do you think about this? Yeah, well, I don't know. I think Donald Trump's an asshole. I agree. Okay, what do you think? Well, I think Donald Trump's a bitch. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Well, I remember Michael Malice used to say this, like, there'd be the random liberal douche would like try to at him on Twitter with some just douchey liberal horse shit.
Yeah.
And he would just respond to them with, they all can mimic the cadence of Jon Stewart, but they don't actually have the intelligence or the wit. They think that if you talk like him, then you are him, but they're not. They're too stupid to realize how embarrassing they are. This guy thinks that if he does something like, Bill Maher, then that makes him Bill Maher. First of all, Bill Maher's a joke. Anyway, I'm better than fucking Bill Maher, and I actually don't even have any problem saying that. But this guy thinks that if he talks like Bill Maher, then he's Bill Maher. There's a little bit more to it than that.
You don't just say jokes and people just, oh my God, that was the funny. They don't just start laughing hysterically where you say a joke. I'm with Tyler. I'm really concerned about these other people that are appearing in the clip laughing, like, and it's obviously fake, but Jesus, they're not even okay. I'm sorry. I'm still waiting for the shoe to drop. Come on. There's got to be something like hit me with the punchline for this whole thing that reveals that actually all this was a setup. Man, you're speaking Tom Myers' language. All setups, no punchlines. All right, let's go.
Kash Patel officially became director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is an historic moment, as it's the first time in history that the FBI will be led by someone who looks like a cross between a jock and the nerd who he shoves into the gym locker.
Into the gym locker? It's like that little gym locker. Did you like that?
But that can't be it, though. I'm waiting, like, okay, you just said those words, and now, comma, here's the joke. But you're saying that's it. There's not a comma, there's a period. There's no, like, I'm waiting for the joke that comes after that statement he just made.
I think he does continue talking about Kash Patel. Let's go.
Kash Patel looks perpetually frightened, doesn't he? He always looks like someone is about to log on to his computer and look up his Pornhub search preferences.
Pornhub search preferences. You don't like that? This is so enjoyable for me, just watching you react to this. This is great. What did you sign up for?
Is it almost over?
I'm pretty sure this is the last one. Last joke.
Okay. All right. Oh man, this has been an action-packed monologue for him.
I know.
It's just one banger after another.
Your ribs and abs are hurting from laughing so much. All right.
I know that somewhere the ghost of J. Edgar Hoover is so happy that Kash Patel has taken the FBI in the direction that he took it, and meeting so many of his objectives that wherever he is now, J. Edgar Hoover is overlooking the fact that Kash Patel isn't white. And on that note, on with the show. Please join me in welcoming Jeff Heisen, Jess Feeney, and Valerie Pascal.
Hey, Tom.
Hello.
There you go. There's the people that are there as his guests. Jeff Heisen being the consistent guy there who's pretty much on every episode, just about. And that's it. He's not a white guy. That was the big ending. That was the big bam, got him. Alan, your thoughts?
Everything about it from the graphic to the no video at all to the audio quality and the audio quality of the guests and the fake heh.
Yeah.
It actually genuinely would have felt better if he actually had a laugh react button. Yeah. Like that would have at least made it come off as satirical more. I still refuse to believe that was a genuine attempt. I still think that this has to be satire.
You think
There's
so?
no way that's real. There's just no way. I mean, it's just, how could you be that? I don't know. I was going to say, how can you have that complete lack of self-awareness? That's autism, my friend. We joke about autism all the time. That right there is autism.
But yeah, like you said, he was just going one after the other. Bam, boom, bam. Got him. And then he's not a white guy. Ooh, damn, he got him. And then everyone's laughing. They can't hold their laughter. It's just everybody's hurting.
That also means, because you weren't even like 3 minutes into that clip, and the beginning of the clip was the intro music. So that means his actual monologue was only like 2.5 minutes long.
Yeah.
It was 2.5. He crammed all of those setups with no punchline into 2.5 minutes, and that was the monologue of his late night show. Damn. Maybe I am made for this.
Yeah. So you don't feel so bad now, huh? Look, this guy out here is doing it, and you're doing it way better than he is.
I mean, God forbid you just at least make it look like a late night show.
Yeah.
And sound like and that music, my God, just the intro, like, would it kill you to have a little,
Wait, you don't like the intro with the guitar? You don't like that?
Like, I'm gonna be honest, my intro is fucking sick.
It's not too shabby. Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah.
It's one of those things where I don't appreciate it anymore because I've sat here and heard it, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, that now I'm just like, I'm waiting for it to be over.
Yeah.
But it's one of the, sometimes you have to take a step back, and like assess. So, but yeah, the whole big band and the logo, and yeah. He just had like, it looked like fucking Miami or something. That's the other part of it. Like, who does a late night show like on South Beach? I don't know if that really works for late night.
Well, he lives in Maryland, if you want to know. He lives in the great state of Maryland. Yeah.
He sounds like someone that would be from Maryland.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I'm so glad that I stopped our finale music so that I could listen.
Yeah. You got to end it with the falling climax to a sudden crash.
No one is climaxing to that show.
I mean, if you are, you got some problems. I think you need to go to a mental hospital. Yeah. So when he releases a new episode, guess what we're going to be doing?
I thought we were doing That Was Gavin Newsom.
That too, yeah. That was Gavin Newsom. And
look, we're going to have to start like getting subscribers to raise money for me to be doing like 17 podcasts with you a week where we react to other people's shit. All right.
Wait, you don't want to talk about this is Gavin Newsom's show called That Was okay. Ending of the show right here. If we were to react specifically, like we did the Gavin Newsom show, and then like at the end we talked about that show. If there was a new one that we could talk about, what would that show be called? So the original show is Tom Myers versus the rest of the world, because apparently Tom Myers versus the world was probably taken.
So the original show is Tom Myers versus the rest of the world.
Yes.
I mean, the easy thing to do is just swap it around. So, rest of the world meet Tom Myers.
Hell yeah.
And so we're introducing the rest of the world to Tom Myers. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. He's like, man, I've been getting confused lately. This is pretty good. I mean, to be fair, too, Julie's podcasts have been reviewing his show for a while too. Yeah. He doesn't take it very well. So you better watch out, Alan. He might come after you. He might be like, hey, don't be shitting on my stuff. It's fantastic. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So you better watch out. He might come after you. And your
Who, that Tom Myers guy?
Tom Myers, yeah.
No, here, I'll do my best Tom Myers impression. Yeah, that Alan Mosley guy, he's just jealous of my show because, as Tony the Tiger says, it's great.
That's too good for Tom Myers' joke. That's too good.
No, I thought that actually was pretty good. That's just the level of, wait a minute, was that the joke? You know.
But okay, so the other thing that people make fun of him for is his word count. Like, he puts too many words and stuff. It's like, I mean, you heard one of the jokes where it's just like he kept tagging and tagging. It's like, okay, we got it. We fucking got it, you know? It's like, yes, Pete Hegseth and prostitutes. We get it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But that was too good for Tom Myers, though. But good try.
Okay.
Yeah. You can try again
Still too
next
good.
Yeah.
Still too good. My God.
Oh, man. Tyler, I'm sorry that we had to have you endure that too, but you could have just, stopped watching it. You could have been like, you know what? Can't do this anymore. Does he have a female co-host or a laugh track? If that was a laugh track, that's a very bad. It's a very bad laugh track. All right. Alan Mosley, I'm sorry to have you endure that, but I really appreciate you doing that. Now that you feel a whole lot better about your show and how you've been doing that for all these years, where can people find that show?
People can tune in to It's Too Late with Alan Mosley Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on Twitch, X, Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, wherever. Just go to @AlanMosleyTV right there. Had a run of pretty good guests. Got some more good guests coming up. But it's an actual late night show with entertainment and jokes and music and such.
Well,
I'm still sitting here trying to think of another Tom Meyer joke before we
Do you want to hear an actual stand-up comedy Tom Myers joke while we end the show?
Oh, like him doing stand-up?
Like him actually doing, yes.
Because that wasn't.
No.
So, okay. All right, yeah. Hit me with the real stuff. Yeah.
This is the famous one that if people know who he is, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Here we go.
Guys doing it? Everybody having a good time so far? Yeah. Yeah, I'm in kind of a weird mood myself. I was on my way down here. I stopped at a convenience store. I'm waiting in line to pay, and the guy in front of me puts down a dozen donuts, 2 big bags of Doritos, one of those cheapo 1-gallon bottles of the generic brand fruit punch, and a nasty old rotting banana. And he turns to the clerk and says to him, "My girlfriend just had an operation. She can only eat certain things." I look at him and I go, "Yeah, right. What, did she have a bong hit transplant?" That guy's in here right now, isn't he? Oh, shit.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.